Hello, everybody. Let me know. I'm not sure how to. I got a lav mic. I'm not sure how to test it. Nice, first one. I counted. I think there's like a 20-second lag from when I say something to when it actually shows up. Hello, everybody. Good to see you. Hello. I feel like I should put out on Tumblr and Facebook that I'm going live right now. So I'm going to do that really fast before I start working on the picture some more. Yeah, the picture is the Regrettables. It's a commission, and I've had a lot of fun researching it and stuff. Yeah, it doesn't work. Okay. Did the Fowls commit tax evasion? I'm not sure. I feel bad when people think that I know a lot about this series, because I really don't. I forget so much. Okay, so I guess I should show you some of the details first. So we have Lazuli here. She's on electric guitar. Should probably put a chord in that. I always have a hard time with guitars. Then we've got Miles on the fiddle, Beckett rocking the accordion, and Whistleblower in the back on the drums. Which, like, instruments are so complicated to draw for me. But this time it was actually pretty easy. I was relieved. So what was everyone's, like, thoughts on the first Fowl Twins book. It was my first time reading like a new Owen Colfer series in a long time. And I was like, I can definitely tell this was made for young children. And I mean, I loved it. The characters, as always, are great. But I was like, I love this, but this is definitely for kids. Get that out of the way. So I start by coloring in all the characters with like random colors, just so that I have them all separated, and then I'll put in flat colors and then build it up from there. My gosh. Child, you have so much hair. So for the people who were at the first stream, is the audio any better? Like, I have a lav mic now to hopefully not pick up the computer fan. But if it's not working, I have like some extension I can put on the mic. Like, I got this mic for like $15 on Amazon. I used a gift card. Had been agonizing what to use this gift card over. And then after the last stream, I was like, oh yeah, I can buy a lav mic. I also bought an ocarina, which I'd wanted one for a long time and could never justify it. But now that I'm home alone all the time, I was like, this would be a good time to learn a new instrument. And by new, I mean I dabble in several, but don't really know how to play any. So I was forced to learn to play the piano and the trumpet, and so I can play like some show tunes on the piano, and I hated playing trumpet so much. My parents are musicians and they wanted all of us to be musicians, and I broke their dreams. And I also have like is it a marimba? Karimba? It's a thumb piano. But you're very limited on the thumb piano because you can only play like, I think mine has like 11 or 12 keys. My voice is very sharp. Okay, I'm glad that there's less background noise though. Taking this one step at a time. I was taught how to record properly while I was at an animation school in India, but because you're supposed to wear headphones so that you can hear your own voice, and you can tell like when your audio is cutting out and stuff like that. But I don't have any good headphones, and I only have one headphone jack, which is what the lav mic is using. Maybe if I lower it some, my voice won't be as sharp. But at least the background noise isn't as bad. That was my main concern. Oh, okay. I was like sharp. I was thinking it meant like, I don't know how to explain it, but like there's like a certain, I give up. There's a bad sharp to voices in audio, and I was hoping it wasn't that. So and thank you. I like my wall tapestry too. I have a very small apartment, but I had one like blank wall that I didn't have enough art to put on, and so I love space, and so I bought a wall tapestry. Plus, it's good for these YouTube setups. Like, I was video chatting with a friend, and she asked me a while back if I was doing YouTube, and I was like, why would you ask me that? I'm not doing YouTube. And she's like, well, you have one of those wall tapestries, and all the YouTubers have one. Self-fulfilling prophecy, I guess. But yeah, I moved my setup so that I wasn't in front of brown doors like I was last time, which means I moved it about 5 feet because that's the extent of my room. But I love my apartment. I feel like I live in, I don't know. I feel like saying Japan would make me sound kind of like a weeb. I lived in Japan for a while, but I slept on a couch. And now that I live in America and have my own place, I sleep on a Japanese futon. Because it really helps with space. Like, I can have people over at my house and I don't feel weird that I have my bed just in the middle of my apartment all the time. My bed gets folded up and put away. Ah, it's my sister! Hi, Eden! I'm the oldest of 6 kids, and Eden is the 3rd one. Oh, thank you for liking the whistleblower design. It just kind of went basic troll. Because they said he looked like an action figure. Like when they said he was like a teacup troll, I was picturing something kind of cute, and then they said he looked like an action figure, and I was like, oh, so he's just like a normal troll, but tiny. So I still tried to play that up a little bit by giving him like more cute proportions, I guess. Like having a big head and kind of smaller limbs. But I'm not sure how long the stream is going to last because I'm going to run out of things to talk about, but coloring is the longest part of this whole thing. Like, it's going to take me hours. And I don't know if I want to record that long. I don't know if my computer can handle recording that long. So we'll just play it by ear. See what's going on. What am I using to draw? I am using Photoshop, and I use the Creative Suite, and I have an Intuos 4 tablet. It's super old. I think I've had this thing for like 4 or 5 years. Oh dang, stop. And so it's got like scratches in it and stuff, but I'm like, it works. So I'm gonna keep using it. Like when this thing dies, I'm thinking about maybe getting a tablet, like not one of these tablets, like an iPad or something. Because this setup I like, it's the only thing I've ever used, but it's also hard to move. Like I can't, you know, sit on a train or something or sit on the couch and draw. I have to be set up somewhere with like a table or something. Which one of my goals in life is to be able to, like, I like being very portable. That's how I like chose all of my furnishings and stuff. I was like, if I for some reason have to move all by myself, I can. Which might just show like the ridiculous extent to which I am independent. Like it's good to accept help from people. And I try not to, which isn't always good. Okay, so which lines? Oh, it's cool that you're chatty, Mocha. I like chatty people, so then I don't have to talk as much. Well, I'm like a chatty person as well. I mean, it's... Oh, there's a car. You might also hear a bunch of motorcyclists go by at some point because spring has come and so the motorcycle gangs are out in force. But anyway, someone asked a question about theme songs. I was actually... No, I won't talk about that. I'm trying not to talk about ideas that I've had when I'm not sure that I'll follow through with them. Because I'm a person who has not a lot of ideas, but I get really excited about ideas, but I know that I'm probably not going to follow through on these ideas. And I don't want to get people's hopes up. I think I've done that to my mom so many times. I've been like, Mom, hear my cool idea. And she's like super supportive and all on board. And then I never do it. But anyway, I think I like the song Glitter and Gold. And I think at least one of the verses really hits home for Artemis. I have an Artemis Fowl playlist on my computer somewhere, and half of them are, like, farcical. I think I have Everybody Loves Me on there. Can't remember who sings that. But I was like, nobody loves Artemis, and that's why this, this is on there. Oh, poor Artemis. Yeah, I gave everyone kind of out of character ear things. You're right. Miles would never ever get his ears pierced. Just like I can't see him really wearing a kilt or Doc Martens, but I did it anyway. Really, this whole aesthetic is not Miles's thing, but it's kind of out of it's like an AU anyway, so anything can happen. I'm sure this is riveting, just watching me erase things. Yay! I've not, like, sometimes I can just select and fill, but none of, like, this, all this line art is on different layers. It's not all on the same layer. So, because I might want to color some of the lines different colors, like Lazuli's hair, when I color it, is going to be a very pale blonde. So I was like, I don't want her line art to be black around her hair, and it's going to be more easy for me to color it if it's on its own separate layer. Okay. Gosh, a lot of 12-year-olds in the chat. It's cool. Dun, 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 dun. So I'll just talk a little bit about, unless I read the chat and find something else I want to talk about. Because I haven't talked a lot about the Fowl Twins book, because I got it pretty soon after it came out, and then it was like kind of a mum on all the spoilers and stuff. And what I want to talk about isn't really spoilers, because I'm not really interested in the plot all that much. I'm kind of that way when it comes to Artemis Fowl stories. There are a couple that the plot is good. A few, actually. Like Artemis Fowl, the first book, amazing plot. Opal Deception, the first 4 books actually just have amazing plots. And so, like, you're riveted to the story. But even in those, what I'm most interested in is the character dynamics. So, and it was especially the case in the Fowl Twins. Like, I liked the plot, but it was really the characters that I was interested in, especially Miles, because I did not want him to be just a rehash of Artemis. I was like, I mean, I love Artemis, but there can only be one Artemis. And in my last stream, I talked about how, like, I didn't like Minerva at first. I like her better now. I didn't like Minerva at first because I thought she was just a girl Artemis, and that was kind of lazy writing. But I think Colfer did a really good job of making Miles not like his brother. Like, there's kind of a weird sibling rivalry going on there where Miles wants to be, like, smarter than Artemis. And I can't really tell if it's, like, a good nature that I want to be smarter than Artemis, or, like, Artemis, I look down upon him and I'm so much better than he is. I can't tell which one it is yet. There's a lot about Miles's character that still isn't developed. And I think that's fine. Like, because you're doing a series, you don't want to learn everything about a character in their first book. But it was really good that he has, like, his own things. It seems like he's, I don't know, I don't want to say anything about that, actually, because I feel like more than Artemis, the twins have very specific tics. And I don't know if they're supposed to be tics, or if they're supposed to, like with Miles especially, kind of hint that he might be on the spectrum. Which would be cool. but he's like very aware of his ticks and has them pretty much under control. Let me check the chat. Oh, hi, Haley. I'm just now going through the chat. Haley is my oldest friend and the mother of my goddaughter. I've been meaning to call you. I'll call you sometime. Now that would be a good one, Hannah. That Miles kind of low-key hates Artemis. Sorry, I was just reading through all the chat stuff. Kofor is really good about staying humble and also being so good to his artists. Like he's so good to all of his art fans or artist fans. Super cool. Like he bought 10 of the Artemis Fowl zine that we put out. And when that happened, me and the other mods were just flipping out because we're like, because at the time we had just started pre-orders, I think, and we were kind of like, oh, are we even going to get a lot of orders? Like, we don't really know, like, we've never done this before, and we don't know what to expect. And then he ordered 10, and we're like, oh, now we have to do this right. Oh my gosh. It was great. He's a great guy. But yeah, anyway. My headcanon about Miles, at least. Because I feel like Beckett is kind of... He's very transparent about what he is feeling. Like, not about his intentions so much, but about how he feels about certain things. I feel like he has, like, a lion heart. But Miles, I feel like, could almost become a villain. Like, he is allying himself with the fairies only because he, he does seem to have some tenderness towards Lazuli, and he definitely loves his brother. But I could see him doing some really illegal things to get things from the fairies that he should not do. And yay, now they're all colored. Woohoo! I'm not sure if, gosh, lost my train of thought. I'm not, dang it. So yeah, I don't know if he's going to take Miles all the way and make him, like, the villain of the series. Like, I think that would be, like, the extreme, which would also be kind of cool, because then he would be the antithesis of Artemis's character growth. Like, Artemis started bad, ended up good. Miles starts good and is corrupted. I think that could be really interesting. But of course, he would also be redeemed by the end. Like, you can't separate the twins for baby Beckett's sake. Cannot separate the twins. I need to pull up my Lazuli art so that I know what she looks like. Uh, oh, Artemis was based on an evil brother pushing other brothers down the stairs. That's hilarious. Yeah, that's what like Hannah, I saw that foreshadowing at the end of the Fowl Twins, and I was like, okay, so is this going to be foreshadowing that is just kind of bad? Like Artemis trying to sell the C-Cube bad? Where everything's fixed pretty, like, everything between him and Holly is fixed pretty quick? I guess no, that doesn't. I feel like that, okay, that's more extreme, actually. Never mind. I don't know. Like, I don't want it to be something that's swept under the rug and all of a sudden Miles is good. I think if you're going to have twins, it is more interesting to kind of be a Loki and Thor dynamic where they love each other, but they have like opposing stuff going on. Okay. Found my other Lazuli fan art so that I can use it to color pick from. Doo-doo-doo. Oh, thank you, Angela, for liking the keychains. Actually, I didn't get the keychains myself, but then my parents actually bought the loot and stuff, which was super nice of them, and they let me take one of the keychains. So I have the Artemis one, and I'm super excited about it. Da, 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 da. I'm really slow going on this art because I'm just enjoying talking to you guys. Oh, I could talk about Lazuli. Like, Holly is a better character right now because she's, you know, more established. But I feel like Lazuli is my spirit animal. Like, Holly is awesome and like queen and everything. But Lazuli, I feel like, is me. She's the girl who would rather stay home with her plant than go out. She's more, I don't know about insecure, but just more of a homebody, more introverted. And I see Holly as more of a jock, and Lazuli is more of a musician, which is actually kind of, correct me if I'm wrong, Lemon, but kind of how this commission came about a little bit was that I depicted, like, I had a headcanon that Lazuli is kind of a punk rocker in her spare time. And Lemon liked it so much that she commissioned it, or They, he. That's the thing about being online. I don't pay attention to like people's ages or genders. I'm just like, everyone to me is online is like their icon. Like whoever your avatar is in your profile picture, that's what my brain just assumes that you are. Oh, thank you. She, her. I'm going to backtrack a little bit because I saw that Mocha asked about if I ship Artemis and Holly, and I did when I was younger. I started reading Artemis Fowl like when I was 13 or 14. I was coming off like some of you probably already know this story, but I was coming off of a long period where I was just super into romance novels. Not like for kids, romance novels for young adults, which are still not good for you. Like they uphold this idea that you need to be in a relationship or desirable to someone in order to be a good, fulfilled human being, which is not true. And so Artemis Fowl actually helped get me out of that because there was no romance in it, really. And, but I did ship Artemis and Holly because I did not know that you could be friends with someone and have such a deep connection without being romantically interested in them. And then as I got older and I grew more friendships like that, where like we did love each other and it was totally platonic, but also very selfless and deep, that I was like, oh, this doesn't have to be a romantic thing. So after that, I was like, yeah, I don't need them to be romantic. I don't really see either of them settling down with anybody just because of their natures. I do see them being friends forever. I've like written about this before. But also I don't think it's bad to like explore their relationship in fan fiction. Like there is some fan fiction that's just not good. Like any like you know, underage stuff, not good. Any like waiting just until Artemis is 18, anything really like smutty in general, I don't like but like I was doing some fan art and I was like, well, what if like Artemis is in his, like, what's the statute? I'm not going to use that word. What is the limit on these things when it comes to an elf who doesn't age and a human who does? Like, if Artemis is 60 years old and Holly, by that time, what would she be, like 150 or something, but looks 25, like, are you still saying that it's an unhealthy relationship because Holly is abusing her power over a 60-year-old man? Like, I'm gonna stop talking about this because I don't, like, that's the point. Like, I don't have a answer for that. It's like, because you can't really have an answer for that because that doesn't happen in real life. We don't have elves who live forever and like getting into relationships with humans who don't. So yeah, it's something interesting to think about in the context of fantasy relationships. Like, this does not apply to human, real life relationships. It can't, and it doesn't, and it shouldn't. Just make for some really good angsty fan fiction. Just saying. Reading the chat again. Was it that late, Haley? I thought like I started reading Artemis Fowl almost as soon as I moved here, which would have been when I was 13, 14. But I could be wrong. I'm really bad with time. Yeah, Hannah, that's my, like, they did meet when he was a child, and so that's, like, the understandable hang-up. But it's like, so do you think that, like, Holly is the type of person who would use her power over Artemis? And is Artemis the kind of person that you could even use power over? I'm not saying when he was a child. I mean, like, as an adult, would she still have that power over him since she knew him since he was a kid? And that's where it kind of, like, goes into this could never happen in real life territory. Because, yeah, like, if Holly was a human girl in her 20s and she met Artemis when he was a kid, that is never okay for them to get together. Like, I know in the olden times they did stuff like that, but you err on the side of not okay. But it gets weird when it's fictional characters, and you're like, okay, I know Holly would never ever abuse a child. So does that mean that her and Artemis would never get together, and that just because he was a child when they met, it's inherently abusive? Or, like, if she became attracted to him when he was much older, like over 40 years old, is that still considered abusive? Because she knew him when he was a kid. I think there's some people who are like, okay, if they were separated for a long time, then it would be fine. Because then, like, it's not so much about abuse, it's about, like, well, like, the reason it's not okay to date your step-siblings is because if you were grown up from, like, a small child with them, and you're both small children, it's part of your development. Like, you see them as your biological flesh and blood, even though you aren't biologically related. Like, it's no longer taboo because of biology, it's taboo because of society. And rightfully taboo. Like, I feel like this is a weird, dangerous thing to be talking about, but I want to clarify that I am not cool with people dating their step-siblings or, like, I don't want to say the word on YouTube and get in trouble, but the P word. You know which one I mean. It's not cool. What I'm interested in is fantasy and how it plays into relationships in fiction. That's it. I'm going to move on from this subject now. Yeah, Lemon. The power dynamics between Holly and Artemis are so weird. Are so weird. So yeah, I like. Oh, congratulations, Book, on your first commission. That's awesome. Backtracking a little bit, I have heard of the Chicks Lily page. I think it's super cute. I'm not sure if I'm following it or not. I don't know what color this should be. I'm not even sure what these are. Like, I looked up kilts because it looked like all the Irish punk bands wear kilts. So I was like, okay, so all of mine guys gotta wear kilts. And I'm just gonna make it this color right now. But they all have these pouches in the front. I don't know what those are for. Oh, that's too close to that color. Yay! Nice green guitar. It's not going to stay green. The color scheme I'm going for here is going to be lots of warm colors. And then like the lighting, when I get the lighting put up, is going to be a lot of like high contrast. Like lots of reds and oranges. A little bit of yellows in there. Because I wanted it to be like punk. But also, the last punk band piece I did years ago was all like cool blues, greens, purples. And I was like, I work in those colors a lot. I need to expand myself. Fanny packs for the Irish. That's awesome. Oh yeah, young Butler. Yes, yes. Butler is so underappreciated. The poor baby. Like, one of my favorite scenes in all of the book series is Artemis coming back from Hybris and Butler being like, my baby boy is back. I was like, oh my gosh, you are his dad. Sometimes I just read that scene because I'm just like, Butler is too good. He's too good for this world. Oh, this is really coming together. But I also think a Minerva one would be cool. So I feel like Minerva would get into very different shenanigans than Artemis gets into. Not sure what kind, but it would be different. Lemon, are you talking to me about the commission thing? The way I do commissions is that someone just asks me, and I'm like, yeah, cool, man. I'll do your commission, as long as it's not one of the things I don't draw. But I'll give you guys some tips if you guys are interested in taking commissions, for those of you who are interested. Let's see. I think you, don't be afraid of your prices. Like, I started off priced very low. And I think, if you are young and learning, and, I started when I was 15 or 16, started taking commissions. I could probably get, a more accurate date. I think my first commissions are still on DeviantArt somewhere. But yeah, I lowballed myself, and I still, to this day, I'm slowly creeping up my prices because I'm I'm worth more than, $6 an hour. So I try to make it worth my while. And usually I get paid up front. I just finished illustrating a children's book, and I asked with that, because I was getting paid more than I normally get paid, I allowed to get only paid half up front, because I was like, yeah, that's a lot of money, and I realized that you don't have all of that on hand. So it's kind of play it by ear, because yeah, especially if you're doing it for a corporation, definitely get paid all or at least half up front. For me, it's not so much because I don't think someone will pay me. It's because it lights a fire under my butt. If someone hasn't paid me, I tend to dilly-dally over it, because I'm they haven't lost any money, so I can take my time. But if I'm paid up front, I'm oh, I have been paid. I need to get this done. And let's see. I have all of my prices. I have my prices in 2 places, actually. And I hope... But I have it on my DeviantArt, and I have it on a kind of shortened version on Tumblr. And that's what I use to factor all of my prices, so they're pretty steady. And also, a customer can go to those and be okay. But also, I've learned, if they're asking for something ridiculous, don't be afraid to up the price. If someone's asking you to draw 40 characters and full paint them, which will take 80 hours to do, you hike up that price. Like, if they're asking for that many characters, either they're delusional or they can afford it. I'm reading the chat. Okay. Lemon, you almost asked for what is a commission? Like, asked for young butler? Is that what I'm getting? Because that would be awesome. I would definitely draw a young butler. I'm picturing, like, The Rock with hair. For some reason. Which is not how I would draw a young butler. But that was the first thing that came to mind. How exactly do commissions work, though? I will try to expand on that. But you might need to give me more details on what you actually mean. Da, da, da. Yes, when I'm silent, I'm reading silent and still on the Photoshop. Yeah, and no talking about the Butler Artemis fanfiction. We all know it's horrible. That's the worst. Never do. Oh, the I would definitely be up for the Lost Colony Butler Artemis reunion scene. That would be adorable. Because they are father and son. But, yeah. Yeah, if it was a comic page, it would cost more. It would cost a lot more. Because that's a lot more work. Am I frozen? Dun dun dun. We're getting back to work. Trying to figure out where to color next. There. That's where I color next. Okay, what else? I'm trying to figure out what else about commissions I could say. Because really, like, the timeline for a commission is someone contacts me, asks me to do a commission for them. Sometimes it's after I put out that my commissions are open. Sometimes it's like someone who has commissioned me before. A lot, like this is my first commission for Lemon, which thank you so much. But a lot of my commissions are also repeat people, repeat customers. So I get used to how they work. But I try to encourage as much detail as possible. Some people are like really low maintenance. And so they're like, okay, I just want this and I don't care how you do it, just do it. And so that can be really fun. I've done a lot of characters that way, where people who are writing books or something are like, I really want my book character designed. Here's the basics. There you go. It helps, especially in that case, to do like a sketch and then show it to the person and be like, is this what you want? Because if it's not, we can negotiate. And I don't do that as much as I should. Like this children's book I just finished, I was going through it with the author, and she's like, oh, there's this one illustration that I don't think is clear enough. Can you go back and fix it? And I'm like, I should have showed this to her earlier so that she could have found it before it was all done. So the more communication with your client, the better. I haven't worked a whole lot with like corporate clients, mostly with like just the everyman, I guess, which I like better. It doesn't pay as well, but I like building the one-on-one, like artist commissioner relationships. I feel like private clients are so much more thankful for what I do than a company ever would be. So that's really nice. But yeah, so basically someone contacts me about wanting a commission. We figure out the price before doing a whole lot of talking about what's going on, like what the piece will be. Sometimes we do talk about the piece first. It just kind of depends on the person. And then after I get paid, I start work on it. And then again, like I'll kind of show them a sketch, make some changes. I try to get those like those corrections done fairly early on. Because again, you don't want to like color a picture and then be like, oh, that hand is in the wrong place or something like that, which is the worst. If you get a nitpicky customer, it's good to say up front that you only allow so many corrections, because there will be people who are like, oh, but I need this and I need this. And I did have one client who was very picky. And because they were so nice, I was just very careful to keep them involved every step of the process. I was like, okay, I'm about to do the line art. Is there anything else you need me to change? Because I'm not changing it after I do the line art on this kind of thing. But they were very, very particular because it was for a fan fiction that they'd written. And so they were very, wanted to make sure that it looked exactly like they'd imagined it. Which, fair. All right, you don't have whites of your eyes. You have darks of your eyes. But yeah, so then after I finish the commission, I will email the person a high resolution image of their work, and usually, like, I double check a lot of times to make sure that it's okay that I post the art online. Sometimes when it's like a family portrait, I won't, because I'm like, this is very personal. It's not really something that people would care about anyway outside of this client, so I'm not gonna like put their faces all over the internet. But when it's something like this, I'm like, okay, you understand that I get to post this on my social media and stuff, because it's still your art. I mean, that does get kind of tricky when it's like you're designing characters. And so, like, yeah, if you've got like non-disclosure agreements and stuff, obviously don't do that. But I feel like I've been talking for a while, so I'm going to go check the chat here in a minute. Coming together, girl. Okay. There's the lag is so bad that like I don't even know what you guys are talking about in some of these, or like I don't check the chat for a while and then I come back and I'm like I have no idea what's going on. Da, 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 na, na, na. Oh goodness. I'm reading the last post about Artemis in a dress. Poor Artemis. Like sometimes it's funny when a guy is like dressed as a girl. Sometimes they look awesome dressed as a girl. I don't know. I think Artemis would just look sad. But that's just me. Butler in a dress would be something. I'm not sure if that would be amazing or just amazingly awkward. There's your blonde hair, girl. Do 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 do. Look at you. I'm still not super used to drawing lazuli. Like, Artemis and Holly I can draw in my sleep. But some of the characters, either like the new characters or the characters that I just newly designed, or the characters I don't get to draw as much. Like, number one, I always have to check and see what his design is because I keep forgetting it. Smudge tool to simulate a hairline. Yay. Okay. Now I'm going to mess with that line art a little bit. So this one, yay, it's that one. Edit, fill, okay. Okay, that's probably not the color I'm going to keep it at, but I'm going to leave it there right now. Such a weird hairstyle. I was looking at like different punk hairstyles and I was like, okay, I guess kind of anything goes. I don't know. I don't understand punk. I'm not hip with the times. Let's give you some makeup. I don't know what your makeup's going to be, so it's probably not going to stay this way, but why not? Do 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 do. Super smoky eye. Ah! Don't use the eraser. Remember where you are. So that's going to be her makeup for right now. It's probably not going to stay that way, but I'm just pretty much going to do all the flats for now, and then do the other stuff. Like if I decide to change it later, I will change it later. Nothing is set in stone. Let me check the chat again. Oh yeah, I can see some Gwen Stacy, like Spider-Gwen feels. And Angela, thank you for the comment about my mulch design. I really tried to go, I feel like sometimes I don't push my character designs enough. And I was like, I want them to look fey and different. I don't want them to... So maybe all dwarves have vitigiलो. I don't know how to pronounce it. Artemis Fowl werewolf fanfiction. That's different. Usually he's a vampire. And thank you, Mocha, for your compliment on my Peter Pan art. Peter Pan has a special place in my heart. I used to pretend to be Peter Pan all the time, and I convinced my brother that I was Peter Pan. I would also pretend to be Peter Pan in supermarkets or grocery stores and not respond to my own name, which my mom thought was great. She said sarcastically. I've never seen the musical Dear Evan Hansen. Is that what it's called? I'm not even sure what it's about. I just know that there's a guy in a cast, and that's the extent of my knowledge. Doop-a-doo. No. Not sure how far down her shoulders these go. I'll probably stop right there. Maybe put right there. There we go. So there's Lazuli's flats. Might move on to Beckett. I feel like his isn't going to take as long as Miles will. name this one L. This one B. Okay. Going through all my layers. This is gonna have so many layers, which I love. Oh gosh. There we go. Loki and Artemis would be too much. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Then you would have to have Holly and Thor team up. But oh my gosh, Loki and Thor, or Loki and Artemis, that would be insane. I don't know who would egg on the other one more. I'm not sure if Loki would be like, yes, Artemis, let's do so many illegal things, or if Artemis would say it to Loki. I don't know. That would be so much. It'd be so much. It'd be so bad. I have heard of Has Been Hotel. I love the art on it. And I do like kind of, I don't like crass humor. I like dry humor. I like morbid humor and dark humor. And so there's a lot of really good dark morbid humor in Has Been Hotel. But I'm very susceptible to like dark things. Like I can't even watch a lot of, I find I can't watch a lot of like critiques and social commentaries on YouTube because I feel like very sad and I don't want to say dirty, but I feel like a weight on my soul after watching them. And so I'm like, I feel like if I watch Has Been Hotel, that's how I'm going to feel. And so just personally, I'm not going to watch it. It's not a morality thing. It's a personal health thing. Let's make this temporarily that. What Becca would look like with dark red hair. Not bad, actually. Kind of reminds me of one of my brothers. Just because my brother has dark red curly hair. But yeah, that said, Has Been Hotel has gorgeous artwork and really great animation. And actually, Mocha, I've seen a lot of your artwork for it on Instagram, and it's really good. Like, you capture that style really well. And I like some of Vivzy Pop's other stuff as well. She's the one who I think is in charge of Has Been Hotel. And I like some of, like, I like the music videos that she puts out and stuff. Those are so fun and energetic. I really like them. Yeah, there you go. There he is. Ridiculous boy. I actually haven't seen Frozen 2. I don't think I'm going to see it. I used to be in a point where I used to be like, I have to watch every single Disney movie, the animated movie that comes out. I have to, because I'm an artist and I love Disney. And now I'm like, I don't have to. It's fine. And I'm not really a fan of the first Frozen movie. And I don't think it's because of Frozen. I think it's because of all the hype around it. I just got burnt out super fast. So I own Frozen, but I haven't watched it in years. I did see Upward though, which was good. It wasn't great, but I feel like I'm very cynical of Pixar, which is not a popular opinion, but it's fine. Okay, I will be right back. Nature, she doth call. So let me put this down so I don't yank the microphone out of my computer. Ugh. I'm back. There we go. Get myself resituated. Do. Okay. Love art. What's the fan fiction you wrote? That's adorable. Oh, it is Onward. I get Pixar. They're in their. I feel like the chat has fallen apart. It's just one word and it makes no sense. But yeah, I meant Onward. It's like, is that still a thing where all the animated stuff... Oh, bye, Angela. Thanks for coming by. Well, what time is it? Okay. Haven't been doing this for super long. It's not too bad. I was hoping to get the flats done for at least the main 3. Like, Whistleblower is important, but I feel like it's more interesting to watch me coloring the main 3 than a drum set and a tiny little troll. But yeah, I was hoping to get done with them before I ended the stream, but I don't know how long you guys want to stick around. Doop-a-doop-a-doo-doo-doo. Like, usually I think people come and go a lot on streams. Oh yeah, I was going to go with the warmer colors. But my streams are still pretty small. And I do have an announcement to make before the end. Guess I could do that now instead of when everyone's already left. I made Beckett shirtless because I feel like he only wears clothes when it's absolutely required. But now he's coming across as more hippie to me than punk. Maybe I'll give him some, like, cool makeup. That sounds like a good idea. I'm going to give him bright yellow sneakers. Yes, this is a good life decision. Yeah, I'm going to advertise streams on Insta eventually. I was just, because I'm still trying to figure out this whole streaming thing, I didn't want to have a bunch of people and then fail miserably. So I was like, I'll start out with smaller crowds of people who I think are more patient. And then I'll open it up to the general public who, because I feel like through the Artemis Fowl blog and stuff, like I kind of get to know you guys a little bit. And you know how I work. And so it's not so bad. Then again, on Instagram, I have a very small following. Like, Tumblr and DeviantArt are my big ones. And even then, they're not that big. Da, 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 da. You know how hard it was to find good reference pictures of accordions? So hard. Accordions are super varied, and I have no idea really how you play an accordion the right way. And so I was having such a hard time trying to figure out how to draw this ridiculous, silly instrument. Let's see. Da-da-da-da. Thank you, Mocha, for your support. I'm really bad about also, like, I've started posting or tagging Owen in things because I'm like, okay, he genuinely likes people drawing his characters, and so I'm not as weird about it anymore. But at first I was like, I feel like this is really self-serving. I'm not confident enough in my abilities, my social abilities especially. But now I'm like, okay, not every Artemis related thing I post, because I post a lot of those, but I'm going to finish this accordion and then I will tell you guys my announcement. But now I've got this accordion on my brain, and so I'm like, I must finish the accordion. And I can't do both at the same time. Because reasons, I guess. Oh, I see some things I need to clean up. Hello. There as well. I have to put a bunch of buttons in there, but there's so many buttons on an accordion. Why did I do this to myself? I'm not complaining. It's just part of my process. I've seen some accordions with like this diamond pattern on them. On the, I don't know what you call it. I am so behind in my accordion lore. This is going to be very messy. This is pretty much just like a mental note to myself to remember that this is here. And I'll fix it up later. And someone mentioned the gloop tie. Yes, he has no gloop tie. I should have put on the gloop tie. Maybe I'll add it later. Not right now. In fact, I don't really like these chains even. So I'll take the chains out and I'll add the gloop tie later. Yay. But it's going to be mostly covered by the accordion anyway. So, yay, accordion. So this is what we've got so far. I'm going to save this right now just in case. Because man, that would be bad if I lost it. I would be very, very depressed. Okay, no makeup on Beckett. That's cool. All right, so let's see if I can. I'm going to make my video capture a bit bigger here for this announcement. So, a little bit backstory. I was supposed to teach a character design class at this local art school, and it kept falling through because there was a minimum amount of students needed, and I don't know any like teenagers in my area who wanted to take the class, specifically rich teenagers, because they charged quite a bit at this school that I was teaching at. And so it fell through like 3 times. And so I was like, you know what? I'm done. Like, I will teach other classes. Like, I'm teaching animation to the Boy Scouts. But I can't do any more of this, like, because I would spend hours and hours and hours putting together a class curriculum and then not get to teach it. And so I was like, I'm not doing that again. But I was like, I need to do something with this curriculum. And now that everyone's stuck at home, I was like, I could do an online class. I have internet now. and this streaming thing seems to be working out pretty okay. So I can offer it to everybody, and hopefully I'll have more than 2 people. It doesn't matter. That's the thing. It's like this will be free. Like I'll probably have a link to like donate if you want to donate to me in the description, but it won't be like required or anything. And so right now what I'm thinking is it'll be in probably at least 4 parts. There will be assignments for each one, and it's very laid back. Like it's really just if you want to do the if you want to do the assignments, you do the assignments. And I'll set up a Discord page so that people who want me to look over their assignments and give them feedback can do that. And then also give each other constructive feedback. Because I feel like that's one of the best things for an artist. And it isn't good to kind of seclude yourself from that. And it would be constructive criticism. Like, I would be watching to make sure nobody was like, your art sucks. But it would be more like, the head looks a bit big. Like, did you mean to do that? Was that a conscious choice? Or, like, I'm not really sure about, like, what this pose is. Or, you know, giving each other tips on how to do things. Like, I think that's really good for artists. And it's something that I've really missed having as somebody who does not work in the art world and doesn't have a lot of, like, I don't interact with artists on a daily basis. But anyway, so there would be a Discord for that. And so I would have, right now I'm planning on starting on Monday, probably at this same time at 5. And going for probably like an hour-ish. Depends on how many people are there and interact, because it will be interactive. It'll be kind of like a virtual classroom with a bit of lag, because I like class interaction. So yeah, there will be some class interaction for the live stream, but then it'll also be uploaded to YouTube. So if you miss it, then you can always watch it and then go on the Discord and interact there. And so if you start in week 2 instead of week 1, you can always go back and watch the first one and do the assignments if you're so inclined. So yeah, I think that's all on that. But yeah, next Monday at 5, I will try to start this character design class. Sorry, I'm not reading from a script. There's no real skill level. It will be kind of more geared toward older adolescents and up. So like if you're like 7 or something, might not hold your attention very well. Because I'll basically be going through a PowerPoint, maybe doing some demonstration, but I'm not sure. It all depends on how tech savvy I am. And okay, so age adolescent and up. And you don't have to be super good at art either. I'm not talking to anyone specific in this audience. But like if you're like, oh, but character design, like I don't know how to draw bodies that well, it's fine. It's more about like understanding the elements of design and the ideas, like how to develop ideas for a good character design. And a little bit about execution, like that's where the critique comes in. But I'm not going to be going over anatomy too much. I might do like a crash course on it, but if you show me your character, I'm not going to be like, oh, but their hands aren't proportional, so you need to fix that. I'm going to be more focused on your ideas and the story behind the character that you're developing. And being like, okay, have you thought about that backstory? Like, why do they have a sword sheath if they are like not a swordsman, or whatever is going on with that particular design. So I feel like I've rambled on enough about this. I will have something more cohesive out soon. As soon as I get a Discord up and running, because I have never done that before. So that'll be fun. But yeah, I'm excited about this. I'm excited to reach out to other artists and kind of share what I have learned over the years and learn from other people. And so I will now get back to coloring these little monsters. And she shrinks. Gets put in the corner. I belong in the corner. Okay. Do 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 do. I will read the chat as well. First single is Gloob. That's hilarious. I'm not going to do Wix Love Art. I'm going to do it on YouTube, like the way that I'm doing this. I mean, I could try to figure out Twitch, but YouTube is working for me right now. And it's easy to use. So, yeah. Yeah, Mocha. I mean, I can always be contacted through like Instagram or Tumblr. If you would be more comfortable contacting me through email or something, I can also give email. Love Art, I'm not sure, like, if it was at 5, I wasn't sure about like online schools, if they were still going to be holding to the 8 to 3 kind of time frame, which is kind of why I put it at 5, because I was like, maybe like virtual classes will be over by then. But even if you can't make it for the live, it will be up on YouTube, so you can watch it afterward. Someone else said something that I wanted to respond to, and I can't remember what it was. Or maybe I just... Okay, I do have a question for Lemon, because I'm not going to be able to get this whole thing done during this live stream, obviously. Like, that would be like a 6-hour live stream or something. So I have a choice for you. We can... Like, after this live stream ends, I can just finish this on my own time. Or, if you want to watch the rest of the process, I can have another live stream, like same time next week. So like Friday at 5. And I could work on it some more and hopefully finish it. Like after, if you want another live stream after next week, if I'm not finished, I'll just finish it on my own time after that. But I should be mostly done by then. Like there's like the boring stuff of me putting filters over things and like trying to figure out background stuff, which to me would not be as interesting as watching this. So that's up to you. I have no preference. Ridiculous. I was thinking about putting like temporary tattoos all over Beckett. At least all over his arms. Maybe some like on his chest area. Just like things that obviously aren't permanent tattoos. Just because he's that chaotic. He's a crazy boy. That's something I would put in later. So there's 2 of them. Now, Miles, my child, it is your turn. I noticed someone earlier mentioned a jazz trio or something with Butler and Artemis and Holly. Someone else might have been mentioned, I can't remember. That would be hilarious. Super fun. But again, like, there's a lot of ideas that I think are super great and fun, but I don't draw them unless I'm really inspired or someone pays me to do it. Reading the chat again. Okay, noted, Lemon. Thank you. Mulch and Doodah is a bluegrass duo. That would be something. I don't know, like what? For some reason, I see Mulch playing the mouth harp. I think he would be. Has anyone here tried to play a mouth harp? It's really weird. I drooled so much. Oh, don't threaten us with any more Artemis Fowl music. Love art. Like, I remember when the Artemis, what were those songs called? There was the Atlantis Complex one, and then Call Me Artemis Fowl. And I listened to those so much, and part of me was like, man, these are bangers. And the other part of me was like, this is the cringiest thing I've ever listened to in my entire life. Why am I doing this to myself? And I still do that. I still listen to them, and I'm still like, why? Why am I doing this? This isn't good, but I still love it. Ah! Like, I can't even describe what genre that music is. Like, I don't know even. Okay, what should my base color be? Let's go dark. I usually make my base color what's at the bottom. Sometimes it's what like at the bottom of all their clothes, which is why I start with skin color a lot, because then I just kind of build on top of it. But then sometimes it's like, oh, I know I'm going to have a lot of black. So instead of coloring a lot of black on top of stuff, I just make the bottom black and then color everything else on top. So I was going to give him a striped shirt because I want him to hate me. Also, stripes seem to be a punk thing. And to me, Miles isn't as pale as Artemis. Like, Miles is more health conscious, I think. I think a lot of his character is him trying to all around be a better person, better at being a human than Artemis is. And I mean that in the most basic ways. Like exercising and not tripping over his own feet. Oh, I love his hair. Like, I don't know if this is canon. I know Beckett definitely has curly hair. I don't know if it's canon that Miles has curly hair, but I love the idea that he kind of can't control the curl all the way. It just makes me so happy. Okay, so I'll give you some stripes, sir. Woo! Bit too thick. Again, probably going to change these stripes later. They're just to keep my place for right now. Remind me that this is what I want. Ta-da! He all of a sudden looks way more punk than he did. I think I'm going to give him a black kilt. He's more emo than the rest of them. He gets a black kilt. Unless, I don't know, should they all have like the same color kilt? Kind of like a uniform? I don't know. Oh, I forgot his legs down here. To color his legs. The stockings give off such a schoolboy vibe, but in a lot of the pictures, they were wearing stockings with their kilts. So that's what I did. At least on Miles. So I feel like he'd be like, I'm doing this the right way. I'm going to wear this traditionally. Whereas Leslie's just like, this is a cool punk looking skirt thing. And Becca's just like, I don't like wearing socks. Oh my gosh, she looks so emo. Such an emo baby. Reading the chat. Oh, washboard. Wah. Oh yeah, oh Jack and the Cuckoo Clock Heart. That movie cracks me up. Like I watched, and it was also like crazy watching experience for me because I was like laughing the whole way through because of just how bonkers it was. And then the end happened and I was like, what? What just happened? Excuse you? I felt bad. I had that same problem with, oh gosh, what was it? Or a similar problem. What was it? There was like some popular thing I was watching and I was like laughing because I was hating all these characters so much. And then they all died. And I was like, well, now I feel like a jerk. I can't remember what that was. Dang it. What was it? It's gonna bother me now. What was it? Because it wasn't Marvel. I love the Marvel movies. It wasn't Star Wars, I don't think. Was it Star Wars? No, it wasn't Star Wars. But it was like another series of movies or a TV show where like characters were built up and I was like, I hate everyone. I hate all these characters. I don't hate all the characters in Star Wars, but I hate all these characters and I don't care if they die. And then they all died. And I was like, oh, now I feel like a horrible person. But I still wasn't sad that they died. That violin is too light. No, it's not Rogue One. I did not like that movie, though. Yeah, I'm sorry about the violin thing. I looked up a picture. But at this point, it's so hard for me. Instruments. I could draw a trumpet player playing correctly because I actually know how that works. But there are different ways to hold a bow. My mom has told me that on many an occasion because my mom plays violin. We'll just pretend that Miles has made up his own way of playing the violin. Oh, that's a horrible excuse, but I'm rolling with it. Okay, that's a better color. Alright, so let's see here. Just a few more things to color on you, boyo. Let's see. So what color should this be? His Irish fanny pack. I feel like he does need a spot of color, but I don't know if I want it to be at his crotch. Decisions. I don't want, maybe I can make the top hat red, like the bowler hat. Not a bright red, but like kind of red. Would that work? Just me talking through my issues. Yeah, that isn't too bad. I'll have to color in his hair and see if I like that. But I guess if it's that color, having the fanny pack that color wouldn't be too distracting and bad. Yeah, that's not bad. Oh, there goes the motorcycle gang. Can you hear them? They aren't as loud as they were last time. There was like 20 of them. That's not dark enough. It's not dark enough. There's that. You just need to do your face. Do a light color at first so that I can see what I'm doing. Like Miles would never do his hair like this. Like this is very un-Miles, but also I'm not sure how like strict the twins are on their appearance, because they were willing to shave their heads in the book. So, whereas I don't think Artemis would have done that. He would have been like, I will find another way to do this that doesn't involve messing up my hair. Is it canon that Artemis gets or like manicures? I feel like that's canon. If not, it should be. Okay. Little silver. Let's make it gold. You deserve the best things in life. Little gold earring. Whoop. Then get the whites of his eyes. Looks like I'm missing some lines there. Just fix that up real fast. And the thing on his hat. Not really sure what this is. I just liked the hat having something on it. I'm not sure if making it a skull or something would be too edgy. Ah, so he does have a, that is canon that he gets manicures. Band is dumb, orchestra is the best. I do like orchestras better than bands, personally. What if his shirt is red? Yeah, I thought about making the vest red. I don't know. I think it breaks up the color too much for his vest to be red. And I wouldn't want his shirt to be red with white stripes, because then you've got, ow, like a candy cane thing going on. I don't know if having red stripes, I don't know. Oh yeah, love art. That's so true about Holly in the graphic novel. So true. Oh my gosh. Miles' hair being pink reminds me of that one episode in Ouran High School Host Club where the twins dye their hair different colors. Oh my gosh. That show is ridiculous. I love it though. It's my first anime. Alright. Well, I think that's gonna about do it. I have the flats for the three mains. Lemon, if there's something you absolutely want me to change, then send me a message and I will fix it. But yeah, other than that, thank you guys for hanging out with me for a couple hours. I was like, 2 hours would be good for a live stream. And we are at 2 hours. So, oh yeah, emo vibes with the stripes. That's possible. I can still do some, because yeah, I'm thinking about adding plaid to the kilts anyway. So stripes on plaid wouldn't look that great. it's all about trying stuff out. But yeah, so just some fast last-minute answers to stuff. I have not thought about drawing Artemis and the others as pirates, but that could be cool. Again, it's one of those things like, that sounds cool, might not ever draw it. But I mean, maybe that would be a fun, like a pirate week on the Artemis Fowl Tumblr to kind of keep things fun for me. So that'd be good. Let's see, is there anything else? No, I think that's it. All right, you guys, I am going to sign off. Thank you so much. I will have more stuff out about the character design class soon, so be looking out for that. And I will see you guys next week when I work on this some more. All right, have a good Friday.